Good evening, YouTube. This is Tire Metalhead Weatherman. Hope you guys are doing well. Well, I mentioned, I think it was the second or third video within 36 hours. Wow, really think about that. Like just saying that out loud makes me really think about how the kind of ground we've been on. But that being said, I'm not talking about me, but I remember mentioning that one tropical invest, that first one that I'd been talking about, looked like it was going to have a shot at developing into our next big deal or next tropical depression or storm. It has formed up into a tropical depression. It is dubbed Tropical Depression 7. And this is pretty much all we're going to be talking about in this video. Nothing else is really going on in the tropics, so this will be a relatively short video if all goes well, because sometimes my computer loves to do what it does. But we won't be using Pivotal Weather too much, so I think we'll be alright. But over here, this is Tropical Depression 7, and this is actually slated to potentially become our next named storm within as much as even the next 12 to 24 hours. And if we actually look at it, I mean, it does really look like it's starting to get its act together. Starting to look pretty symmetrical. Looks like these feeder bands are really starting to breathe out in this storm. A lot of convection going on as well, so I seriously expect this to become our next named storm, a tropical storm, and the next name in line is Fiona. So we'll be tracking that over the next few days as it starts to make a close pass towards the Caribbean here. Let's move over to the other date. Let's move over to some more data over here. We're going over to cyclocane, and it looks like it's updating right now. So it's interesting to see whether or not this will pop up as, nope, it doesn't pop up into a tropical storm as of yet. But it could literally happen at any time. I wouldn't be surprised by the 11 o'clock advisory that this should become Fiona. So again, another look at the radar imagery. Well, not radar, but satellite imagery. No surprises here. It's pretty much the same as the infrared. Storm is really starting to tighten up and organize. It's a relatively small storm, so rapid strengthening isn't out the question. But as of right now, the NHC is playing it safe, and they only have this as a tropical storm, making a push towards about maybe 40 miles an around 40-45 miles an hour. This isn't a very favorable environment, so to speak. Wind shear is light. Not too much dry air going into it right now. It almost seems like it has a little bit of a barrier of moisture around it, so it could help it thrive a little bit further along. The real question will be as we get towards the latter half of this week, into the weekend, and towards the start of next week will be, well, it's actually questions, is for one, how much land interaction will we get? Because if you look at this track, looks like Puerto Rico, the Lesser Antilles, and also Dominican Republic are in play here. And the key thing about the Dominican Republic, especially, is there are a few mountainous regions over there. And mountainous regions do take a toll on these hurricanes. They actually start to tear the low pressure center apart a bit. So it's gonna be there's a lot of variables that go into this, and also the strength of the storm itself also plays a role as well, because I mentioned in one of my tropical weather outlooks that usually with a weaker storm, it's not going to be as quickly affected by these weaker ridges of high pressure, or even stronger ridges of high pressure, because the cloud tops aren't going to usually be as high as they would be in a much stronger storm. So a lot of intricate details that we have to get into with this storm before we gain a little bit more confidence on what happens next. So let's go over to the spaghetti models, kind of get an idea of where our yeah, can't get my words out. Well, let's get an idea of where our models are trending as far as strength is concerned. For the most part, no surprises here. Tropical Storm may be heading towards a stronger tropical storm, but there are a handful of models that try to push this towards hurricane. There are a few that kind of push this beyond 50 knots, getting closer towards that tropical storm hurricane line here. But for the most part, I think as of right now, extra emphasis, as of right now, I don't think we get to hurricane. Could be a couple of runs from now where that prediction is turned over on its head entirely, especially with as far out as we still are, and we're over an area that's, as well, not over an area, but we're progressing into an area that has had relatively untapped water. And it's also very warm over in the Caribbean too, so there are some I do think there are some changes to come, I would say, with this forecast in regards to intensity. I do think that the track also could be changed as well, but I'm a little less confident in that right now. But if we actually go ahead and take a look at our forecast track based on the spaghetti models, a lot of these okay, there we go. I was trying to get it to scroll, like zoom in, not scroll. But I could see TD7 here, soon to be Fiona. Might as well call it that, but I want to call it that, but just not yet. But you can clearly see, for the most part, I do see what the greatest chance there being a land impact towards Puerto Rico, and then maybe a close pass, if not a landfall, to the Dominican. And then this looks like it gets pushed out to sea. Either this storm really starts to develop further, or a ridge just gets hold of it, or a front comes in and kicks it out to sea. There is a front that is coming towards the weekend, so it may get caught up in that, and this is the result of it being pushed to sea. But this is really our first big land threat from a tropical cyclone this year. If not the first one this year, then the first one since the early part of hurricane season. I think the first one was like a potential tropical cyclone one. I'll have to sift through my videos and see if I can find anything on that. But this is pretty much all I got for this video here. It feels a little weird to have one this short, but I'll take it, and hopefully this will be easier for you guys to watch. We'll have another video up tomorrow. We'll be watching this really closely, and we'll still be watching the up and coming storm systems ahead. There are some other pattern changes that I will be talking about in later videos as we get further along into the week. So stay tuned. But until the next video, this has been Tire Metalhead Weatherman. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, drop me a like. Especially leave me a comment. Eager to know what you guys think and what I could improve on. But until then, I'll see you next time.